In today's video, we're checking out this beautiful electric guitar from the folks over at PRS. This is their PRS SE 277. This is made in Indonesia, and if you're wondering why it looks a little bit different, it's a baritone guitar, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It feels great to play. I'll talk more about that later. You're about to hear this in the context of a jam track, and then we'll get over to some isolated tones. But before we get into it, a huge thank you to Sky Music, my local music shop, for the loan of this. I don't get to keep it. No money's changed hands, and all thoughts about this are my own. And if you want to check this out, I'll link it down below. As you heard in that intro track, you can get a lot of different tones out of this, whether you're playing clean, dirty, or if you want to rock out, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can get all kinds of tones out of this. Now, PRS kind of recommend this for heavy players or people who like to kind of chug, but they also mention that it does a great bass tone, and after just plugging it into this Princeton here, it really sounds great. So the biggest thing that you got to get used to with a Baritone electric guitar is a 27.7 inch scale length. It's just a very different beast when it comes to playing along the fretboard, but you get used to it pretty quickly. You know, it's very familiar. I guess it's kind of like in between that of a small scale bass and an electric guitar with obviously 6 strings. This is tuned to B, so the strings are very different as they ring out acoustically. So if you're used to playing, say, an E chord in the E position, it's going to be a B. So you got to get used to either moving things around or recording just with this, and then it's just very easy because that intro track, I recorded all the bass parts on this, which meant I could just play the chords I was familiar with, yet getting a very different sound overall. Let's take a look at this guitar up close. The first thing I noticed about it was how beautiful the finish was. It looks really stunning. They've done a great job on the finish. So well done, PRS. We get 2 humbucker pickups loaded into this guitar. We can also get that single coil sound by pulling up on the tone control. So 1 tone control, 1 volume control. This doesn't have any push-pull on it. And we get a 3-way toggle switch, so we can go between either bridge or neck on their own or both together. This bridge is super cool. We get 6 saddles and it's a string-through body. Here's the headstock up close, and as you can see on the back of the guitar here, we get the PRS branded tuners, and throughout the entirety of this video, it's stayed in tune, and this was new straight out of the box. We get 22 frets, so this is like a custom 22 when you're talking about PRS guitars, and a nice wide thick neck. I love the feel and profile on this. I wish my custom 24 had this profile. It feels awesome. So PRS, if you ever watch this, make some lefties with fatter necks. Including the bag, unlike a lot of other brands, you get a PRS SE gig bag, which is one of my favorite gig bags you can buy, considering it's thrown in for free. I put that in quotations. You might be paying a few bucks for it in with the price of the guitar, but they're awesome. So no complaints whatsoever. If you want to check this out, I'll link it down in the description box below. Let's kick it off. In today's video, I'm plugged into the Fender 64 Custom Princeton Reverb amplifier. It's loaded with a 10-inch speaker. This is the one made in the US, and it's mic'd up with an Austrian Audio OD5 microphone, and that's what you'll be hearing. So this is neck pickup. I'm going to play a mix of stuff so you can get a good sense of how this sounds. I mean, the low end response is phenomenal, yet it's still got all the tops. It's funny playing the same sort of chord progressions with the baritone. You get a vastly different overall vibe. It's really quite beautiful. It's got that sort of piano sound when you play clean. It's great. Over to both pickups here. I'll just play some sort of fingerstyle stuff, and then we'll play some lead. It's got that nice big percussive style sound. It's great for single note stuff as well. Have a listen to this. And over to bridge pickup, let's have a listen to this. Well, that's great, right? And this also has the coil tap or split coil feature, so you can get those single coil tones. And on this guitar, it actually works pretty well, unlike some of the tones I get on my custom 24. I actually ripped that control out. But on this, because of that extra bass response, it sounds pretty great. I'll just play the same thing a few times so you get a good sense of how it sounds like this. It almost gives you like an acoustic sound. Have a listen to the difference. So that's pretty cool. Let's go over to some dirty tones. Over to some dirty tones now, courtesy of the Royal Flush Dual Overdrive, and I'm also going to turn on the Shelly Pony Boy, which is based on a clon. I've also got a little bit of delay on here as well. If you haven't played lead on a guitar like this before, it's a little bit tricky when you've come in from just a standard scale electric guitar. Venue description, I'm actually kind of struggling to find the frets because they're a little bit wider apart. It sort of messes with your head a little bit, but you do get used to it, so let's give it a shot. I'll play a mix of chords and lead and all that kind of stuff. Man, that is something else. I'm just going to crank the gain up a little higher right now because I love the sound of this. And now with both sides of the Royal Flush on, plus the clone, the Shelly Pony Boy, so lots of drive. We're going to start on bridge pickup. I'm just going to keep this to humbucker mode right now. Here we go. You can see me sort of fumbling around a little bit there, and that's because the scale length of this is a little bit tricky for me, but I tell you what, man, that bridge pickup with high gain tones sounds unreal. It's funny just hearing so many different frequencies coming out of my amp. I think it sounds pretty wild. Let us know what you think. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this PRS SE 277 Baritone Electric Guitar. Now, this has been a whole lot of fun, man. I love the fact I could record the bass part in the jam track just by using the clean tone on my amp and just playing the lower strings, which is fantastic. So you're getting a very versatile instrument. I think the tones of this really speaks for themselves. You know, whether you're playing on the split or single coil mode or in the standard humbucker mode, the tones are very usable. Now, unlike my original PRS SE Custom 24, The pots roll forward as on, which is how the Fender guitars work. The original PRS guitars, the pots rolled the opposite way, and these actually feel like better quality pots. The quality control on this guitar is great. The tuners feel great. There's no problems there with tuning stability. The bridge looks good. The pickups sound great. There's really not a lot to dislike about this, other than the fact you're going to feel lost for about the first 20 minutes of playing it, and then after that, you'll start to feel a little bit more at home. And it's just funny playing, you know, even licks you might have in your muscle memory or whatever, you know, you can just go on autopilot. You play it on this, it sounds completely different because it's in a different key and the tonality of everything that's coming out of the amp is very different. But I love it. This would be a great songwriting tool, or if you're looking to mix things up and just give your ear a change of scene for a while. I really like this. I think it's a beautiful instrument. Let us know what you think. If you want to check it out, I'll link it below. Catch you soon. See ya.